down in Cancun and at the 7-day event, and you hear all these stories of people that have been before and how things build up and how you're learning the building blocks of meditation and everything else. And it's been an amazing event. But on I think it's the 5th day, you go and you do a Cohesion Healing event. And because of the pandemic, they don't do it in person anymore, so you're doing it with a picture of a person that is potentially terminally ill, and this entire room of people are doing this for different individuals around the world. So there's somebody laying somewhere in a bed, and there's a table of 5 people that are basically channeling in to this individual. And so before that, you go outside and you do this walking meditation to kind of basically tune in and get ready for this healing. And before, I just thought, I'm not a healer. I'm way too right brain. This is why I'm, am I worthy enough of being here? And all these thoughts creep back into your head, and then you mention it to somebody and they tell you the exact opposite. So I thought I'll go with the flow and I'll roll with it. And so I go outside to do this walking meditation with everybody, and you're supposed to basically just get in a space and keep it very, just very present. And all of a sudden, my younger brother just starts popping into my head. And at first, I'm a little frustrated because it's taking me away from where I'm supposed to be. But then all of a sudden, I realize that there must be something to it. And so I just started, having this conversation with him and just figuring out why I needed to think about him. And so I'm going through this, and it's a 20-minute exercise that you go through, and you're walking in this massive circle on this platform, and I figured, okay, by the end of it, I figured it's probably just because, he's a relatively new dad and he's doing an amazing job, but, just everyone has their challenges. And so maybe it's that, maybe I wish he was here kind of thing. And you go back into the room and you're sitting for a bit before this healing starts, and you have this picture, and I have this picture. All of a sudden, I get taken back, and all of a sudden I realize why my brother was with me on this walk. When he was in his teens, and I was in my late 20s, my brother and sister, my younger brother and sister adopted, and I got a call from my parents, which I'll never forget, and he was in a coma. And I got to the hospital, and he'd been in for a day or so, and my parents were there, and just obviously just tons of sadness, but tons of love. We talked to the doctor, and the doctor just said, hey, he's this has been going on for a while, and we just have to brace ourselves. If he does come out, he just will likely not be the individual that went in, and the individual and I don't like telling you these things, but this needs to come out. And so after that, I let the family leave the room, and I just had a moment with my brother, and I'll never forget it. So I got my left hand on the railing of the hospital bed, and my right hand on his ankle, and I just started talking to God, and I said something like, I don't even know that I believe in you, but I know my parents do, and I certainly know my brother does, and so I need your help, and if you can get him out of this, then I will do anything for you. And that is my promise. And then I just said some words to Tim, which is my brother, and I just said, hey dude, you've got to pull through on this. I'm seeing all this for the first time in over 20 years, sitting in this chair. In 5 minutes, this flashes into my presence as I'm looking at this woman, which, by the way, this table looks like a hospital bed. I mean, it's not supposed to, but I've got this vision of this hospital bed, and there's 5 of us around it, each with this picture of this woman. And all of a sudden it comes forward. I realized that I've actually already done this. I did this with my family and everyone that visited my brother when he was in the hospital. And with the help of my brother, he pulled through. He came out, it was a miracle, 100% recovery, and it was just an amazing experience. But all of a sudden, 20 years goes by, and you just forget this. And I never came through on that promise. So, and I'd had conversations over the years with my brother, and I'd said, in my head, I had moments where I'm like, well, maybe I helped, but I always felt like, oh, that's Craig being, that's Craig's ego saying that. And I see this picture of this woman, and all these memories come back, and I just realized that it's like, this is payback time, and not only for me, but for Tim. And so it was no mystical experience. Like, Tim didn't walk through the door, but all of a sudden, I turned to the side and I just started having a conversation with him. And I had him pull up a chair. He's a big dude, so his hands are massive. And we were going through this healing, and it was the most unreal experience I've ever had in an environment where I don't know anyone around. I mean, you have the births of your children and everything else that are incredible. And what happened over this 30-minute healing of this woman was something I will never ever forget. And so we start off just kind of blessing her and just getting her in her head, and just like, and all of a sudden you just start pushing the love out, and it just, Tim's there next to me. I've got my hand, all of a sudden, I've got my hand like almost like a crab, like over the top of her picture. And his hand's over mine. And collectively, this group, we just start to build this energy and this flow that was absolutely insane. And at one point, my other arm is like doing this snake walk, like involuntarily. I can't stop it. And as they say, your energy centers, you're just shooting everything from everywhere. And you've got this golden light and everything that's flying everywhere. And at one point, the table is literally, it's not literally floating. It feels like it's floating. It's going through this wavelength, and it's just pumping and pumping and pumping. Every single one of us are absolutely bawling. Like, just, our shirts are wet because there's just tears of joy and just all the stuff coming out of us into her, and just basically doing everything we can to pull for her. And my brother's right there, and he and I both had a chance to just pay it back. So anyway, that's my experience. I just, thank you for asking me to give it, and it's just been amazing. So thank you.